Chapter 1168. Exquisite Treasure. Chapter 1168. Exquisite treasure participate in the selection? It would be better to say that he was here to cause trouble. Of course, Long Fei mostly wanted to finish the mission because he wanted to get the special item as a reward. And then again, he wanted to fulfill his promise to Yang Yu. Those who have not reached the Xian level will be eliminated immediately. Warriors who do not have the talent for Blood Vein get eliminated immediately. Either you have the profound rank, or you have the talent of a Blood Vein. So if any of the conditions are met, you will have the qualifications to be selected. Only having the qualifications to be selected. Do you understand? The plaza was packed with people. A disciple with a proud expression on his face loudly said, all the warriors in the plaza were envious of him, because the clothes he wore were the clothes of the Yuanyang clan's outer court disciples. Only the official disciples had a uniform set of clothes. Only then would he truly be considered as a disciple of the Yuanyang clan. The range of the Yuanyang clan's power range was 1,000,000 kilometers. All the young warriors were rushing here, squeezing through their skin in an attempt to enter the sect. This was the starting point of his dream. Boss, so many people. Niu Dashan was excited, looking at the sea of people around him. He became excited and said, Boss, I don't have a cultivation realm, then Long Fei said, don't worry, your 5-star blood vein are considered quite good. They should be able to participate in the examination. Niu Dashan laughed foolishly. I have to thank my boss for that. Why are you guys here? Just as Long Fei and Niu Dashan were chatting, Ling Qing's expression changed slightly. He walked to Long Fei's side and whispered, You too, why do you still dare to come here? Lin Xiaojuan's corpse has already been found. The powers in the Wind Forest City are looking for the culprit who killed Lin Xiaojun. How can you all be here? Ling Yuan frowned. He thought that Long Fei would escape, but he actually appeared in the Yuanyang clan's selection field. This caused Ling Yuan to worry. He was worried that Long Fei would be exposed, and that the Ling family would be implicated. After all, they were present when Lin Xiaojun was killed. Long Fei looked at the Ling Yuan siblings and said, If you guys can come to the selection, we can too. Niu Dashan laughed foolishly. Why did you guys come as well? Who knows? Ling Yuan's expression tensed up and said, I told you before, the Wind Forest City is very powerful in Yuanyang clan. Why are you still coming? If Lin Xiaojuan's death was discovered, your lives would be lost. You all can't participate in the selection, so hurry up and leave before you survive. Long Fei said while looking at Ling Yuan, the most dangerous place is still the safest place. Don't worry. Even if I am discovered, I will not implicate you. Ling Yuan was speechless. However, Ling Qing said, My brother didn't mean it that way. He's just worried about you guys. Long Fei smiled. Thank you for your concern. With that, he pulled Niu Dashan along to register. Name: Long Fei. Cultivation base: Black level 1. The statistics elder raised his eyes, looked at Long Fei seriously, and asked, What is your gifted vein? Long Fei replied, I don't know either. The blood vein has not awakened. The clan elder drew an X under Long Fei's name, then said, Go over there and test your blood vein inherent skill. Next name: Niu Dashan. Cultivation base: Yellow rank level 3. What is a gifted vein? 5-star steel armor, rhinoceros. The elder's eyes moved. He was clearly excited. 5-star steel armor, rhinoceros? Are you sure? Niu Dashan used all his strength in his arms. Boom, boom, boom. A thick, illusory image of a steel armor appeared on his body, giving him an incomparable amount of strength. The elder was extremely excited and replied, Not bad, not bad. It is indeed a 5-star steel armor, rhinoceros. You can directly enter the last stage of the examination. And then he had drawn 3 hooks under Nyo Dashin's name, meaning that Nyo Dashin's potential was strong. Just the display of a single gifted vein allowed Nyo Dashin to directly enter the final round of the examination, and all the previous matches were exempted. This was the advantage of a blood vein's inherent skill. Yen Huang Ancestor was right. Chaos Realm was a world with the talent of a blood vein, and blood vein was king here. A 5-star gifted vein could bring about a strong advantage. Ling Qing and Ling Yuan's eyes were filled with shock. Had actually obtained the steel armor rhinoceros's blood vein. It was obviously the blood vein that Long Fei killed. Why did he give it to Nyo Dashin instead? He has an even stronger blood vein, inherent skill. Ling Yuan and Ling Qing were both at the 2nd level of the profound rank and were eligible for selection. Following that, the 2 of them also arrived at the place where the blood vein were being tested. Nyo Dashin was blaming himself a little. Boss, your blood vein inherent skill hasn't even been activated yet, and you already gave me steel armor rhinoceros. Long Fei said, don't think too much. Steel armor rhinoceros S are more suited for you, and steel armor rhinoceros S are just making some preparations. I have even more powerful things for you. Concentrate a drop of blood essence onto it. One by one, the warriors followed suit. Blood vein inherent skill? None. Blood vein inherent skill? None. 1-star blood vein. The blood essence dripped onto the black stone, and the black stone absorbed it produced a corresponding blood vein level. Most people did not have the talent of blood vein, and some had very low-level blood vein. What's going on? Could it be that the blood vein can temporarily mutate? Several elders began to discuss with each other. A 7-star blood vein was already a very impressive existence, but to the holy vein, it was unknown just how many levels weaker it was. They were naturally not satisfied. An elder said, could it be that the blood vein in her body hasn't been fully activated? Sometimes good, and sometimes bad. It's possible. The strong light from earlier was definitely from the holy vein. Why don't we just bring her into the inner sect and let the Grand Master decide? That's the only way. The result of their discussion, before Ling Qing could react, he was brought to the inner sect by a few elders. If nothing unexpected happened, she wouldn't need to participate in the test and would directly become an inner court disciple. To an ordinary martial artist, this was like soaring into the sky. This is really enviable. Becoming an inner court disciple straight away will reduce the amount of time one has to struggle for by 3 to 5 years. From today onwards, the difference will be like heaven and earth. Sigh, if only it was me. With your dog blood vein ass, you want to become an inner sect disciple? Stop dreaming. He seems to be a member of the Ling family. The Ling family of the Wind Forest City. The crowd was constantly discussing about the holy vein. A few minutes later, detection continues. When Ling Yuan went up, his gifted vein was only at the 4-star level. It wasn't high, but it wasn't low either. His face was full of excitement because there was a high chance that the Ling family would rise up because of Ling Qing. Nyo Dashin asked in a low voice, Boss, the blood vein can still be changed temporarily. Long Fei said, Who knows? There are too many possibilities for this world to exist. Nyo Dashin said, Holy vein, if only I had one as well, I could directly become an inner sect disciple and could directly find those fellows and beat them to the ground one by one. Long Fei laughed and thought, Not far. Nyo Dashin's compatibility with the steel armor rhinoceros was very perfect. He also continuously released the blood vein's power, becoming stronger and stronger. It would be a great way to integrate with the blood vein of the demon ox. Long Fei had a feeling that Nyo Dashin would definitely cause a sensation after fusing with a king bull's blood, and would definitely be very eye-catching. A full 4 hours later, the primary selection had ended. Out of the tens of thousands of martial artists, only a third of them had reached the qualification to take the test. At the same time, an elder said lightly, "Next, we will proceed with the first round of the competition assessment. It will be divided into 60 smaller competitions. The loser will be eliminated, and the winner will be promoted. Remember, do not hurt anyone. Other than that, Yuanyang clan will only accept 2,000 people this year, which means that you will only have the chance to stay after entering the top 2,000. Understand? Bring out your true strength. Even if they pass these competitions, they would only be able to smoothly become outer court disciples. Want to enter the inner sect? There was only one way to become an inner sect disciple." The competition continued. Yuanyang clan, inner sect. Are you saying that you sense the aura of the Elder Zhu's flying sword? Ren Tianzhan's brows twitched. Yang Wanu nodded his head and said, "That's right. I can feel that they are entering the selection site, but who exactly is it?" The images of Long Fei and Nyo Dashin appeared in his mind. However, Yang Wana did not say it immediately. Then what are we waiting for? Go and capture them immediately. Sect Master, there must be something left behind by the Elder Zhu on him. It is something that concerns the life of our Yuanyang clan. The deadline given by the Hell Gate is about to arrive. It was as if the elders had caught hold of a life-saving straw. Ren Tianzhan looked at Yang Wanu and said, "Great Elder, what do you think?" Yang Wana said, "My opinion is to wait and see. At the moment, we do not have any evidence to prove that they took Zhu Tianquan's things, nor do we know their goal. So let's see what they do." At this time, an elder immediately jumped out and said, "Great Elder, what time is it? You're already burning your eyebrows and you still want to wait and see? Even if we kill all the participants, we still have to obtain that item." "Exactly. What if the people from Hell Gate came ahead of time? Do you take this responsibility? You can't afford it either." Yang Wanu smiled slightly. "Since they are in Yuanyang clan, are you afraid they will run away?" Chapter 1170, You're Courting Death. Chapter 1170, You're Courting Death. Long Fei wins. Enter the next round. Long Fei gave him a hug and said, "Thanks." He then walked down the stage. Nyo Dashin immediately walked up with water in his hand and said excitedly, "Boss, we have won 5 consecutive rounds. In 2 more rounds, we will be able to become outer sect disciples of the Yuanyang clan." Ha ha ha. Me would never dare to think about it. Due to the fact that Nyo Dashin possessed a gifted vein, he only needed to participate in the final round of the competition. Long Fei smiled and said, "We came here with a purpose." Nyo Dashin immediately said, I remember it in my heart." Me had been paying attention this whole time and also asking around, "What do you think we should do? In the entire outer sect, there is no one that we are looking for. He might be a senior inner disciple." Long Fei looked at Nyo Dashin in shock and said, "I didn't think that you would know how to gather information." Nyo Dashin scratched his head and laughed foolishly. "They are also very polite to me, probably because I have a gifted vein." Long Fei said in a low voice and softly asked, "How is the progress of the matter I gave you?" Nyo Dashin immediately replied in a low voice, "Boss, I secretly moved the black stone you were talking about just now. My God, it's too heavy, at least 100,000 kilograms. If I don't use the blood vein's power, I won't be able to move it." As expected, Long Fei thought, "Seems like it's impossible to steal it. If it's like this, then I will only have to use it to absorb the power in its body. All right, nothing much, just make me some equipment. When you pass the assessment, I'll give you a special reward. Long Fei smiled faintly. Miss, you can't go out. If you go out again, Anu's life won't be saved. In the inner sect, in an exquisite little courtyard, there were pavilions, fake mountains, flowing water, all sorts of strange flowers and plants, and the little courtyard was exceptionally luxurious. One of them was dressed in white, and there was a trace of a severe illness that had just started to heal between his brows. The girl was beautiful. It was just that his face had turned slightly pale. Yang Yu, Yang Wan's only daughter. Yang Yu said, "Anu, I will not leave the Yuan Yang clan. I just want to go to the outer sect to watch the show." Anu said, "Miss, I know what you are thinking. Just give up on this idea. Those 2 slaves will not participate in the selection. They are just 2 slaves and aren't even qualified to be selected." Yang Yu glared and said, "Anu, they have saved us before. You can't just keep saying slave and slave all the time, right?" Anu said, "If it wasn't for them, would we have been involved in that war? Last time in the forest, the 2 of them abandoned us and ran. What did they say about finding you a destiny pill? How could they have gotten him a destiny pill? Miss, they are not people from the same world as you. Why don't we not go?" Anu hid everything, because she did it for Yang Yu's own good. She did not want Yang Yu to have any other connections to Long Fei. She could do it with anyone, but not with lowly slaves. This would affect her identity. It would only make the Scorching Flame's senior brother unhappy. Yang Yu's face slightly darkened as he muttered, "He won't lie to me." I can see that his eyes aren't lying at all. At this time, for people walked in from the entrance of the small courtyard. Lai Yin said faintly, "Slaves are the lowliest thing in this world. They can do anything to survive. At that time, you were only tricked by him." Yang Yu's eyes moved and immediately said, "Senior brother." Her heart was filled with gratitude because this life was saved by Lai Yin. If he didn't quickly feed her the destiny pill, she would already be dead. He was very happy in his heart because Yang Yu's view of him had changed a lot. At least, it was much better than 2 months ago. So he said, "Little junior sister, you want to go watch the show at the outer court?" Yang Yu asked, "Can senior brother bring me there?" Lai Yin laughed proudly. "There is nothing in Yuan Yang clan that I can't do." Lai Yang said, "We are also going to the outer sect. We have been choosing our disciples for the past half year, and they are all geniuses amongst geniuses. They will definitely be able to bring Yuan Yang clan up to a whole new level." Lai Yin said, "Let's go. The ranking tournament is about to start. We won't be able to see it if we're late. I heard that a person from the Holy Vein was born, and it was even a girl. This year's competition will definitely be exciting." Lai Yin and the other 3 had been searching for the genius disciple. It could be said, the people they were looking for were all geniuses amongst geniuses, and all of them were the best talented disciples of the 18 cities. The disciples they chose did not need to participate in any of the examinations and directly entered the final ranking tournament. Only the top 10 disciples of the top 10 could enter the inner sect. This was a special reward for them, and also the fastest shortcut to enter the inner sect on the square outside the outer sect. Boom! With a huge sound, Nyo Dashin fiercely threw a person flying. Nyo Dashin wins. The blood vein on Nyo Dashin's body withdrew its strength, and the steel armor disappeared. After recovering from his battle state, he rushed down the stage with incomparable excitement. Looking at Long Fei below the stage, he said, "Ha ha! Boss, I've won. I'm now Yuan Yang clan's disciple." "Mother, did you see that? I am now a disciple of the Yuan Yang clan." Nyo Dashin looked at the sky, tears welling up. He was very excited. He had never been so excited before. Long Fei's heart was slightly moved as she looked at him. Chapter 1171. The Good Show has just begun. Chapter 1171. The Good Show has just begun. He's here. He's here. Anu, did you see that? He really came. Seeing Long Fei in the crowd, she was unspeakably happy in her heart, and said, I knew he would come. He promised me that he would definitely come back. Senior brother, you still don't know him, right? His name is Long Fei, and his identity. He is a warrior of the Water City. He is powerful. You didn't see that. Didn't a crisis appear in our Yuanyang clan? He might be able to withstand the crisis. Yang Yu was completely immersed in his own happiness. He didn't see the ice-cold, murderous look in Lai Yan's eyes at all. He really came to die. Anu's eyes were also filled with shock as his heart became anxious. Yang Yu jumped up and waved his hand at Long Fei. I'm here, I'm here. While they were talking, Yang Yu was just about to run out, but as she was about to take her first step, she was stopped by Lai Yan. Yang Yu did not understand, and asked, Senior brother, he is the person who saved me from the Water City. Anu also said, Miss, you cannot go see them. Lai Yan couldn't help but ask, How noble is your status? What kind of low status did they have? You are people from two different worlds, and I won't allow you to enter. Yang Yu stared at Lai Yang in shock, then looked at Anu and questioned him back. Anu, did you tell us their identities? Lai Yan said coldly, It's just two slaves. I can tell with a single glance from their lowly expressions. Do I still want Anu to say it? Yang Yu glared at Anu, and then said, Senior brother, what about the slaves? If slaves were to become powerhouse, then Raging Wrath Emperor would be born a slave. He would also become a powerhouse at the peak of Chaos Realm. Lai Yan said, How many Rage Emperors are there in the Chaos Realm? How many slaves were there? Not every slave can become a Fury Emperor. Yang Yu said, I invited him. I must go. Lai Yan's eyes darkened as he said, If I say no, then no. And then, after today, you will never see him again. The killing intent in his eyes was not hidden. It was a naked burst. Yang Yu was shocked and said, Senior brother, you can't do this, you can't. He is my friend. He can bring hope to Yuanyang clan. Lai Yan shouted and said, Anu, bring the little junior sister back to the inner sect. She is not allowed to take even half a step out of the courtyard gate without my permission. Yang Yu struggled up and said, Lai Yan, on what basis do you care about me? My dad can't even control me. Who are you? No one can stop what I've done. In the distance, Niu Dashin pointed at Lai Yang and suddenly said, Boss, look, it's those 4 people. Who are those 2 women? What are they doing? Long Fei looked over. Lai Yan's eyes also looked over. The 2 were 100 meters apart, but their eyes met. Killing intent burst out. Niu Dashin clenched his fists tightly and said, Boss, I'm so excited. Long Fei smiled lightly and said, Be careful. If you encounter an opponent that you can't win against, just give up. Understand, there is nothing more important than one's life in this world. Niu Dashin was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, Me understands. The ranking tournament had begun. Dozens of arenas were held at the same time. The winner will be promoted. Long Fei against Horse Sky City. 2 minutes later, Long Fei wins. Enter the next round. Niu Dashin wins. Enter the next round. After 3 consecutive rounds, Long Fei had won the match with ease. In the distance, Lai Yan coldly laughed. Brat, let's see how high you can climb. At this moment, Lai Yang walked over and said, Senior brother, I have already explained everything you have said. As long as we meet Long Fei and Niu Dashin, they will be willing to suffer a fate worse than death. Lai Yan laughed proudly. Kid, this is my territory. I can play you to death however I want to. The good show has just begun. Enjoy it slowly. Within the Leaf family of 18 cities, the most outstanding genius among the younger generation, the gifted vein is even a 7-star blood vein. His cultivation is even profound grade 3. He's practically a genius amongst geniuses. 7-star blood vein, profound level 3, only 18 years old. This is quite rare. As for that Long Fei fellow, his gifted vein S are 0, and his cultivation is at the first rank of the profound rank. Even with his cultivation, who knows how many profound stones he used to pile up there? He would probably be defeated in one move. I think so too. Blood vein S have 0 innate talent. They definitely do not have a future. There is still a warrior with 0 gifted vein. Could it be that he is a slave? Ha ha ha. The crowd burst into laughter. Under everyone's gazes, Li Yixuo walked to the stage and looked at Long Fei, who was at the other side. With a cold and disdainful expression, he said, "Brat, hurry up. Stop wasting your time. For someone like you two, one move," Li Yixuo said arrogantly. Everyone's blood boiled, thinking that Li Yixuo could defeat Long Fei in one move. Long Fei walked to the stage and said, "One move, right. As you wish." Li Yixuo looked at Long Fei with scorn. "Get lost." With that, Li Yixuo suddenly made his move. However, his vision blurred and Long Fei disappeared. Long Fei acted even faster than him, but the reaction time that he saw with his own eyes was too slow. Bam! A loud sound echoed out. Li Yixuo's body flew out of the stage, heavily smashing onto the ground, bounced up, and then smashed down again. After rolling for over 100 meters, he coincidentally rolled to the bottom of Lai Yan's feet. It was completely unrecognizable. The blood on the top of his head dropped to the bottom. Chapter 1173. Then you all go together. Chapter 1173. Then you all go together, Master Senior Brother, save me. Li Yixuo looked up at Lai Yan. Lai Yan glanced at him coldly and stomped down heavily. Crack! The ribs on his chest were shattered and pierced straight into his heart. The last breath was gone. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Li Yixuo for obtaining 1230 experience, 110 holy source, and 10 energy values. The damned must be killed. Long Fei would never let her go. Even if Lai Yan didn't attack, Li Yixuo would have died. Long Fei coldly glanced at Lai Yan. The corners of his mouth lifted as he laughed coldly. Cluck, cluck. Scorching flame clenched his fists, his joints cracking. The killing intent in his eyes grew stronger, his eyes gloomy as he stared at Long Fei and said, "You dog, let's see how long you can continue being so arrogant for." In the dark, Yang Wana frowned and thought to himself what a fast speed, a fast and powerful leg technique. This leg technique is at least an 8th ranked technique. There are not many that can cultivate an 8th ranked technique within the 18 cities. Who is this person? What is his identity? Yang Wana's heart was filled with doubts. He knew that Zhu Tianxuan's flying sword was on Long Fei, and he did not say it out loud because he wanted to see what Long Fei wanted to do. And why did he come here? It was very unusual for a first-grade profound rank person without a single blood vein to be able to cultivate such a high-level technique. Yang Wana stared at Long Fei. "Who exactly are you?" Niu Dashan became excited and said, "Boss, you're too handsome. Defeat in one move. Ha ha ha. What genius. What bullsh *T blood vein. Too weak." Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "We are now qualified to enter the inner sect." Objective achieved. Niu Dashan said, "Boss, do you want to give up on the competition too?" Long Fei said, "MN, our goal is not these people, but the 4 of them. You can just enter the inner sect." There was no boss, so nothing dropped. With just a few points in energy values, Long Fei didn't want to waste his holy source value. Nyo Dashin immediately replied, "Boss is indeed boss." Half an hour later, the 7th round of the competition ended. The 8th round began. The 8th round's first battle, Long Fei versus Fong Ken. "Please come out." Long Fei yelled out, "I give up." "Abstaining." "Huh. How can I give up?" The sudden forfeit caused the entire training grounds to shake. The 4 people of Lai Yan's group never thought that Long Fei would forfeit. Lai Yang sneered and said, "He must be scared. I don't dare to keep fighting." Fong Ken is a profound 4th-rank martial artist, and his gifted vein is at the peak of the 7th level. He definitely knows that he cannot defeat her, so he gave up. Slaves are slaves. The martial arts arena was also in an uproar. They were all puzzled. However, most people thought that Long Fei was afraid. If he was not afraid, why would he give up? At this moment, Lai Yan's voice sank and said lightly, "Long Fei, you haven't given up the ranking tournament. If you admit defeat, your lowly status will be exposed. Once your lowly identity is exposed, you will no longer have the qualifications to become a disciple of the Yuan Yang clan. If I were you, I'd keep fighting." He did not want Long Fei to give up. He wanted Long Fei to kneel on the stage. Nyo Dashin said in a low voice, "Boss, if our identities were to be exposed, all of our results will be canceled. I'm worried." Slaves in this world have no human rights. No sect would accept slaves. Yuan Yang clan was the same. If their identities were exposed, Long Fei and Nyo Dashin would be kicked out of Yuan Yang clan. Never again step half a step into Yuan Yang mountain range. Long Fei looked at Lai Yan with great interest and asked, "Do you really like seeing your men die that much?" Lai Yan said, "You're afraid of death, aren't you?" "Ha ha ha." Long Fei laughed and slowly walked up the stage. He glanced at Fong Ken and asked, "Are you his man?" Fong Ken sneered, "Brat, if you can kneel down and admit defeat, I'll let you die a little easier." "Oh, all right." Long Fei smiled faintly. Fong Ken said, "What's good?" "All right, kneel down." Long Fei said, "What I meant was you're going to die." As soon as he finished, Long Fei held out the Xiao Luo machete in his right hand, and his body moved. His aura was linked to the mountain-splitting Neef. At this moment, a roar came out from Fong Can's body. Demon Beast. His gifted vein is an attacking tiger. Incredible. No wonder Long Fei was scared. He already knew about Fong Can's gifted vein. Now he's dead for sure. Demon Beast S had a strong attack power. Another tiger. The peak blood vein among the 7-star blood vein. Fong Can laughed complacently and said, "Brat, you dare to fight against senior brother Lai Yan. You don't have the qualifications. Do you understand?" Suddenly he moved. A ferocious tiger silhouette dashed out from his body. Huff. Inhale. Long Fei's breath, the mountain-splitting Neef's breath, was also the breath of an Azura. The moment he saw Fong Can charge over, Long Fei's pupils slightly sank. The mountain-splitting Neef moved. It hacked down like a watermelon. Crack. A woo. The tiger screamed. The illusion shattered, and all of Fong Can's attacks were shattered. Immediately after, Long Fei leaned on the tiger's back. Fiercely, boom. Bang. It smashed into Fong Can's chest. Fong Can staggered backwards. Long Fei slashed downwards, right in the middle of Fong Can's forehead. Fong Can swayed back and forth, his body constantly retreating. Between his brows, there was a long line of blood that flowed down from his head to his chin, with blood seeping out slowly, his eyes bulging out as he stared at Long Fei. Chapter 1174. Boss, let me do it. Chapter 1174. Boss, let me do it. To be arrogant, one had to be extremely arrogant. Aren't you going to target lousy? Then come. Everyone attack together. I'll take it. Long Fei shouted once again. Like to be cheap? Then give it a slap. Too savage. How arrogant. This is too arrogant. What do you take the Yuan-Yang clan as? Do you really think that defeating a few Mystic Realm experts is so amazing? Many disciples of the Yuan-Yang clan were unwilling to accept this outcome. Many people were speaking up for Lai Yin. Because of his special identity, they all wanted to show off in front of him. This way, they might be able to directly enter the inner sect in the future. Niu Dashan walked over in large strides and stood beside Long Fei. Long Fei's gaze swept across them as he said, "Since you all are unhappy, then you all can attack together." Earlier, they were all aimed at the disciples that were taking the examination. These words were directed at all the outer court disciples. As soon as he finished, more angry shouts rang out. "Brat, don't be too arrogant. This is not a place where you can behave atrociously. Don't be too presumptuous. I advise you to restrain yourself. You won a few matches, and yet you don't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. Do you really take yourself seriously?" The sounds of criticism and ridicule rang out. Long Fei still had a cold smile on his face, and his gaze was not moving at all as he stared at Lai Yin. "If you don't agree, then the four of you can also attack together." "How dare you?" A furious roar. An elder bellowed and said angrily, "Long Fei, you are too presumptuous." Long Fei sneered, looked at the elder, and said, "I'm sorry, this is how I am. Tell the truth." Long Fei was really not afraid of anyone, not to mention a normal elder. Even if the Yuan-Yang clan's sect master was in front of him, he would still not be afraid, because whoever dared to be cocky, he would blast them to death with a cannon. The main gun energy was fully filled. "Who has to give it a try?" "You." The elder glared as he struck Xiang Longfei with his palm. "Why are you trying to act so savagely now?" At this moment, Lai Yin slightly shouted, "Elder Sun, stop." Sun Wu was stunned for a moment before he said, "Lai Yin, he's so arrogant. If we don't teach him a lesson, won't he ascend to the heavens?" Lai Yin laughed. "It's just two lowly things. Why don't you follow them when they scream a few times? Isn't that the same as them? Kid, you want to challenge me, right?" "As you wish." Lai Yin smiled playfully, saying in his heart, "Let's see what power you still have." Long Fei said arrogantly, "Do you think your people are my match? It's better if you attack together." "Kid, don't be too arrogant. You know your identity very well. Don't let us expose it. When the time comes, you won't even be able to do anything to a dog." The scorching sun roared. Niu Dashan said angrily, "Brat, F***K your grandmother." Lai Yang's gaze tightened as he coldly snorted. "He lost." Niu Dashan said, "If you have the guts, come fight with me again." Lai Yang's face turned sinister. "You think I'm afraid of you, you piece of trash?" Lai Yin blocked Lai Yang and said, "Don't be impatient." Long Fei also said to Niu Dashan, "You may leave first." Niu Dashan stared blankly for a moment, then said, "Boss, you handle 7 or 8 people by yourself. I'll help you." Long Fei said, "No need, you can just wait at the side." At this moment, Lai Yan's eyes moved, following that the 8 genius disciples all landed on the stage and stared at Long Fei. Long Fei stood in the center of the stage and looked around, laughing. "Is this the genius you have recruited? Brat, you're courting death. Give me your life. Die." The 8 of them moved in unison at an extremely fast speed. Long Fei's eyes flashed. His killing intent burst out. The Xiu Luo machete in his hand hummed as he rushed forward. Bloody battlefield, 4-blade. Shwa. With a slash, a blood-red light fell. A disciple fell. Long Fei's body sank. Wind godleg, consecutive explosion kicks. Bang, bang, bang. A person was sent flying 100 meters away. His chest was caved in, and he was gasping for air. The moment his body landed, he let out a loud shout. Waist slash. Boom. The mountain-splitting knife swept out, and a disciple's body split into two. Fresh blood spurted out. Next, with one hand, the mountain-splitting knife in Long Fei's hands became like heavy cannons. King Kong fist. Bang, bang. One person was sent flying, and Long Fei's body suddenly leaned back, and another blade slashed down. The stage was just like an elegant music piece. Everything was so beautiful to the extreme, without a single flaw. Long Fei's every move was perfect. It was like art, the fusion of blood and violence. Perfect. Everyone was dumbfounded. Each of the 8 genius disciples were all geniuses, but in front of Long Fei, they were like trash. One move was enough to send them flying, while the other was to kill them all. He couldn't stop it at all. The faces of the Yuanyang clan disciples were also filled with fear. Every time a person died, it was as if slapped Lai Yan's face. It was very hard. Just what had happened in the short span of a month. Why did a yellow rank person suddenly become so powerful? And furthermore, they did not have the power of the blood veiness. So why was this so? Boom, 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 ding, ding, ding. As they flew out of the arena, one by one, the sound of a notification rang. Every time, Long Fei would attack with all his might and not rest until one party died. In less than 3 minutes, Long Fei was the only one left on the stage, along with the mountain-splitting knife that was still dripping blood. Long Fei smirked and said coldly, "Who else?" Chapter 1175, Complete Defeat Once Again. Chapter 1175, Complete Defeat Once Again. He had no choice but to do it. Niu Dashan walked up the stage. Lai Yong coldly laughed. "Last time, I tortured you like a dog. You still dare to come out? If I were you, I would definitely run away with my tail between my legs." Niu Dashan said angrily and naively, "Me wants revenge." "Revenge? With just you?" Lai Yang sneered and said, "See how I can make you into your true form." As soon as he finished, the scorching sun moved, the shadows under his feet overlapped, and his body was like the wind as he quickly rushed towards the ring. Niu Dashan clenched his fists tightly. Wang, Wang. A thick, illusory image of a steel armor appeared on his body. "Armor?" Lai Yang disdainfully said. "No matter how thick the armor is, it's useless. The talent of the blood vein in this world is very important, but the realm is more important." Boom! The power of the scorching sun burst forth, and his fists were like hammers as they struck out heavily. Rumble! The steel armor on Niu Dashan's chest shattered, the muscles on his chest caved in, and a rib broke as a clear sound came out. Poochie! Blood spurted out. It was also at this moment that Niu Dashan opened his eyes wide. His eyes were as big as an ox's, and he swept them with his fists. "Walla!" Lai Yang sneered. "Trash too slow." The moment Niu Dashan made his move, the scorching sun had already bounced off of him. He missed, above the gifted vein. The scorching sun had completely suppressed Niu Dashan, and it was the same for Cultivation Realm as well. "Trash, here I come." As soon as his voice faded, the figure of the scorching sun disappeared and was thrown out once more. Long Fei frowned and quickly leaned in. Without waiting for him to get near the stage, a few elders immediately blocked Long Fei's path and shouted, "We cannot interrupt the competition. If you dare to interrupt, then don't blame us for being impolite." Long Fei didn't care at all. Niu Dashan let out a loud shout and said, "Boss, I can still resist." Boom, boom. With 2 loud bangs, The stage cracked apart, and Nyo Dashin's feet pierced into the rocks of the stage, nailing himself to the ground. Bang, bang. Two loud sounds. Nyo Dashin's body was struck once again, and another bone was fractured. It was just that. His body did not move. All the muscles in his body expanded. Nyo Dashin glared at Kong Kim and bellowed, "Come again! Do you only have that much strength? Is this person crazy? Has he been made a fool of? His feet are stuck in the ground, and he wants to be beaten up like a wooden stake. I've definitely been made a fool of." The crowd burst into scornful laughter. Nyo Dashin was completely not a match for him. Realm, the blood vein was crushed. He had no strength to fight back, and he even had his feet planted into the ground. What was this? This is what you call courting death. Do you know what a gifted vein is now? Do you know what a gifted vein is now? Slave identity, the gifted vein was extracted. His cultivation was sealed. Just these things can bring a person back to his original form. It might be possible, but it's definitely not someone like you, Long Fei, who's even more arrogant than you. The more he tried to stop them, the more upset he got. Big Mountain, come here. Long Fei's gaze tightened, coldly snorted, and said, "Open your dog, eyes wide and clear. I'll let you know what a gifted vein is." The blood veins in Nyo Dashin's body were pulled out. His body felt like it was on the verge of collapse, and it was extremely uncomfortable. After hearing Long Fei's voice, he walked up with difficulty and said, "Boss, we." Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Long Fei took out the demon ox god blood vein and said, "Swallow this drop of blood essence. This is the blood vein's power that I have prepared for you." Humph. I'm afraid that all 5-star blood vein were picked up by luck. If there was a high-level blood vein, would a person with 0 talent like you not be able to swallow it? Will it be given to someone else? Are you dumb, or do you think we are stupid? That's not right. This big guy should be a brainless person to listen to you. The strong wind sneered coldly. A 5-star blood vein is a pretty good blood vein. If there was any other good blood vein, Long Fei would not be able to fuse it. Why would he give it to others? Is there really such a selfless person in the world? He didn't believe it. Even if there was, this kind of blood vein was not much better than a 5-star blood vein. Any one of them was in existence a 9-star blood vein could crush. You're right. Are you stupid, or do you think we're stupid? Will you give your level 0 blood vein to others after you fuse it yourself? Are you treating others as test subjects? Lai Yin also laughed at him. Uncle Gui and Uncle Ju did not make any moves. Yang Wanu also curiously looked at Long Fei. Long Fei grinned. Then open your dog eyes wide and see clearly. In this world, other than his mother, even Long Fei treated him the best. Forget about this drop of blood vein. Even if he was treated like a mouse by Nyo Dashin, he would definitely not bat an eye. His life was still Long Fei's. He swallowed the blood in one gulp. In that instant, boom, boom, the footsteps of a beast came out from Nyo Dashin's body. His footsteps were like thunder, every step extremely heavy, and rays of light shot out from his body. Buzz, buzz, buzz. OM, OM, OM. Complete integration. Nyo Dashin's breath felt like it was puffing out from his nose, and his eyes looked more and more like those of an ox. The bones that were broken earlier on seemed to have all crumbled, and at the same time seemed to have completely healed as a series of cracking sounds could be heard. Ha ha ha. It really is a Xiao Bai mouse. A beam of light rushed out from the black stone and shot into the sky, causing the entire Yuan Yang clan to shake. This blood vein level light beam was stronger than the one that had received the blood vein halo. The two blood veins had different innate strengths, so this power was even more manic and overbearing. It's the holy vein again. My God, holy vein, it's actually a holy vein. It is stronger than the power I received from the blood vein. He actually gave the holy vein to the little brother beside him. Is there something wrong with his head? I'm going crazy. At the same time, the intersex elder with the flying sword came flying out, and sect leader Ren Tinjan also flew out. The appearance of the holy vein caused everyone to be incomparably shocked. However, they did not know how strong Nyo Dashin's blood vein was. Demon Ox's blood vein was a leveling up blood vein. Demon Ox's blood vein was a god amongst holy vein, an unrivaled existence. More importantly, with the steel armor rhinoceros as a foreshadowing, Nyo Dashin had already perfectly fused the demon ox god blood vein. His strength exploded forth. Long Fei grinned and smiled. Do you know what a gifted vein is now? The dregs? The dazzling light was extremely shocking. Their 4 blood vein were trash compared to Nyo Dashin's blood vein. A slave's blood vein was even stronger than them. This was undoubtedly giving Lai Yan a ruthless slap on the face, loud and clear. Lai Yan's eyes darkened and said coldly, "So what if we have powerful blood vein? It will still be devoured." Uncle Gui, the gloomy old man, suddenly moved. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Nyo Dashin took a step forward and said with a heavy tone, "Boss, let me do it." Chapter 1178, Direct Smashing to Death. Chapter 1178, Direct Smashing to Death. Moo. An ox's roar resounded in the void. Following that, Nyo Dashin stood still in his original position. Uncle Gui's ghastly claw swiped down ruthlessly. His face was full of excitement because this powerful blood vein's innate strength was his. His right hand was heavily pressed down. He directly grabbed onto Nyo Dashin's head like he did just now. TSK, TSK. A strange, complacent laughter rang out. Uncle Gui laughed. Those who are capable of divine, level-gifted vein, hand over your blood vein. Nyo Dashin's eyes darkened. The moment his right hand grabbed down, the blood vein's power in his body exploded, and he shouted loudly, "Then it depends on whether your hand is strong enough." Power exploded from the top of his head. From within the illusion, 2 gigantic horns rose up above Nyo Dashin's head. With a sudden move, boom, the 2 forces collided. Crack, crack, a series of bone-cracking sounds rang, and Nyo Dashin's body collided. Boom, bang. It heavily smashed into Uncle Gui's waist. Slash, slash. The 2 energies immediately broke through his body and struck the wall that was left behind. Without waiting for Uncle Gui to react, Nyo Dashin quickly retreated and fiercely. Rumble! The wall cracked, and Uncle Gui was sent flying from the impact. This time, he was on top of a large tree. Another retreat, another fierce collision. Rumble! A few times in a row, Uncle Gui's body was finally broken into half. Only then did Nyo Dashin stop. Your grandmother's chest continued to be so arrogant for this daddy. Old Ox, am not going to show off. Do you think I'm a sick cat? Step by step, they walked over, their bodies covered in Uncle Gui's blood. Everyone was staring at Nyo Dashin as if they were staring at a monster. Was he even human? Huang level 9 was able to kill a powerhouse at the peak of the Xian level? A full stage. How is that possible? Long Face secretly bit his tongue and thought to himself, if it was me, I'm afraid even I wouldn't be able to do it. Is this the power of a blood vein? Is this the power of a 380 million points blood vein? Enough. Strong enough, crazy enough, ha ha. Long Fei didn't regret it in the slightest. The blood vein S are for people who can perfectly release their powers. Even if he were to fuse with the King Bull's blood, he wouldn't be able to unleash power like you, Nyo Dashin. Only he could withstand it. Nyo Dashin walked back to Long Fei's side and stood behind him. Imitating Long Fei's tone, he shouted out loud, "Fuck, who else is there? Who else dares to go against my boss? All of you, stand up. So what if you're a slave? How great are your identities? Those who refuse to accept this can stand up for me. Old Ox, will die one by one." His aura was domineering and mighty. It was just like the imposing manner of Demon Ox. The entire outer sect was completely crushed by Nyo Dashin. Lai Yan's face suddenly changed, and he looked extremely ugly, as he had thought that the Uncle Gue protecting him would be knocked to death by a slave no matter what. Just how strong was the blood vein? Everyone was thinking about that. No matter how strong the power of a yellow rank level 9 was, it would still be there. The power that Nyo Dashin had exploded with was all the power of a blood vein. What exactly was the blood vein he had fused with? Long Fei was really willing. Was there really such a foolish person in this world to be given to a little brother instead of fusing with a holy vein? They were even going to suspect the whole world. The corner of Long Fei's mouth raised slightly. "Now, do you know what it means to be a blood vein? Scum, aren't you all very pleased with yourselves? Aren't you superior? Aren't you looking down on slaves? Then I'd like to ask, who came out to fight with him now? Come out, you high and mighty geniuses. Now come out for your father." Long Fei's voice grew louder and louder, until he almost roared in anger. He was venting in his heart. Long Fei stared at Lai Yan and said, "Lai Yan, weren't you yelling about how amazing he was just now? Now call one for me." Nyo Dashin immediately took a step forward and stared at Lai Yan, his eyes filled with mania. The imposing aura of the blazing flames was instantly shattered, and when he was stared at by Nyo Dashin, he couldn't even speak. Never. Nyo Dashin's gaze turned as he stared at Lai Feng and Lai Yang. "The last time it was the two of you. Now both of you attack together." Lai Yang and Lai Feng took a step back at the same time, not daring to move forward. He didn't dare to fight with Nyo Dashin anymore, especially Lai Yang. He didn't even have the courage to look at Nyo Dashin anymore. Fiery Blaze's eyes turned cold, and the killing intent in his heart became even stronger. Yang Wana slightly said, "Let's forget about this matter. No matter what your identity is, all of you are now part of the Yuan Yang clan." Wait. Just as Yang Wana was about to finish, the honorary elder of Inner House walked out and said lightly, "Great elder, Yuan Yang clan has a rule that slaves are not allowed to join any sections. You are the great elder. You should remember this, right?" Yang Wanu's brows twitched, and he said faintly, "Elder Wu, it would be best for you to not interfere in the things I do." "He." Wu Ingliang said, "I naturally do not dare to interfere with what Great Elder has done, but Great Elder is doing something wrong. So as an elder of the Yuan Yang clan, I must intervene." Yang Wanu's face was filled with anger as he said, "Right now, Yuan Yang clan is a time for servants. The blood vein talent he displayed just now is enough to prove everything. Since the sect rules are set by the people, they can naturally be changed. They are a rare talent. They will make our Yuan Yang clan stronger." Wu Ingliang said, "I saw that big-sized man's blood vein talent. It's indeed not bad. Even if it's normal to make an exception for him, I would still agree with him. But what about him?" A few elders looked at Long Fei. At this moment, everyone looked at Xiang Longfei. The big-sized man had high blood vein inherent skill, which was enough to cover everything up. But what about Long Fei? Level 0 blood vein. This kind of person has no future at all. Nyo Dashin immediately said, "My lord is invincible. If I don't let him in, I won't either." Wu Ingliang laughed. "Great clan elder, You can't possibly say that he is the genius of holy vein, right? To make an exception for a lowly slave, great elder, are you scheming something? Yang Wanu's eyes turned sinister. Ha ha ha. Wu Ingliang laughed out loud, stared at Long Fei, and said, Brat, not everyone in Yuanyang clan can join. Your status as a slave is even more impossible. If you want the great clan elder to make an exception for you, then why don't you take out the potential of your holy veins talent as well? Ha ha ha. If you can't take it out. Humph. Wu Ingliang's expression changed, and he shouted coldly, killing the disciples of Yuanyang clan, you must leave your life here. His eyes were filled with killing intent. At this time, Lai Yan laughed complacently. Long Fei, you still won't be able to escape death today. Ha ha ha. How is it? Go check. Go and verify. You useless level 0 blood vein. Long Fei's expression turned sinister, anger roiling in his heart. It's just that, his blood vein level. Chapter 1179. Let me see your power. Chapter 1179. Let me see your power. He was very clear that he had devouring vein S in his body, but he did not know what the level of devouring vein was. Just now, the Blackstone's examination result showed that it was level 0. This made him think that his own level was still too low and could not be detected by the Blackstone. He thought to himself, Forefather, I'm going to be killed by you. What unique and unparalleled. Long Fei looked at the points, wanting to exchange for a holy vein, but there were simply not enough points, not even enough to exchange for 5-star blood vein. Kid, go and verify. Let's go and verify it again. Aren't you very arrogant? Your brothers are all holy vein. You should be a stronger blood vein. Go and verify. The surrounding people shouted loudly. Seeing that Long Fei had not moved for a long time, more and more people became arrogant, wanting to see a joke from Long Fei. The result of the test just now was very clear. Long Fei's blood vein inherent skill was level 0, which means he doesn't have any blood vein inherent skill. Wu Ingliang only poked at Long Fei's weakness because he knew this. Since the blood vein were given to Neo Dashan, there would not be a second holy vein on Long Fei's body. If he did not have a holy vein in his body, he would not be able to walk out of Yuanyang clan today. When the time comes, and we see Yang Wana's actions again, this way we can prove his deduction. Wu Ingliang laughed complacently. Brat, you better hurry up. Is there any use in delaying for time? If you are not a gifted vein, then you will have to die here today. Yang Yu grabbed Long Fei's arm and said loudly, You guys clearly knew that his blood vein inherent skill was level 0. Interesting. Of course it's interesting. We just want to see him make a joke of himself. Just a mere slave who came to the Yuanyang clan to behave atrociously. You think you are invincible after defeating a few disciples, but now you are? Lai Feng said loudly. Lai Yan also sneered. Little junior sister, slaves do not have the qualifications to enter the Yuanyang clan. Elder Wu has made an exception for him, but he still has to show his true abilities. You'd better stay away from him. It's not good to have too many connections with a slave. Yang Yu stared at Lai Yan and said, I don't care. He's someone that I invited. No one is allowed to kick him out. Ouch. Wu Ingliang sneered and said, Great clan elder, your daughter is truly amazing. Shouldn't you discipline her? If you don't teach me, I'll do it on your behalf. Yang Wana's gaze darkened as he said to Yang Yu, Yang Yu, you can leave. Yang Yu instead grabbed even tighter and said, Father, these people are obviously targeting him. They clearly know that his blood vein talent is 0, yet they still want him to test them. Is this proof? Isn't he proving enough? Lai Yan, he defeated all the disciples you recruited. Isn't this the best proof? Also, he defeated everyone in Water City. Isn't that proof? 1 month ago, he was only a yellow rank level 1. Now, he is only a black rank level 1. Isn't this proof that he was able to break through a great realm in such a short amount of time? How do I prove it? Yang Yu anxiously said to her father, "Father, he is really strong, very strong. His potential is enormous and is able to help our Yuan-Yang clan tide through this crisis." Many people were shocked. Everything was shocking, especially after breaking through a great boundary in just a month's time. Even an extreme genius wouldn't be able to accomplish that. What sort of speed was this? This was flying. However, but no one believed Yang Yu's words. Little junior sister, other than today's incident, who would believe what you're saying? What you are saying is completely a fantasy. Do you think that someone would be able to break through a great realm within a month without the help of the blood vein's inherent skill? Do you really take us for fools? They obviously knew about Lai Yin, but they didn't say anything. It even attracted the ridicule of the people from the martial arts arena. Yang Yu, aren't you a little too greedy to actually protect a slave? What is your relationship with that slave? You wouldn't be having an affair with him, would you? The more he said, the more unpleasant his words became. Yang Yu stomped his feet in anger. Yang Wanu said with a heavy voice, "Enough." His voice crushed the entire martial ring, and it suddenly quieted down. Yang Wana looked at Long Fei and said, "Go and test the blood veins, inherent skill, one more time. If it's still level 0, then you go down the mountain and leave the Yuan-Yang clan. I will assure you that no one will dare to stop you, and no one will ever dare to touch you." The voice was very heavy. They exuded a powerful and majestic aura. Wu Yingliang sneered in his heart. "Let him go? Yang Wanu, your imagination is so beautiful. Did he leave?" Yang Yu said, "Father, he already tested them just now. What else should I test him for? Furthermore, I can't let him leave the Yuan-Yang clan, so I can give it to the Yuan-Yang clan." "Shut up." Yang Wana glared at him. What Long Fei had done today was too arrogant. He had killed so many talented disciples, offended even the inner and outer sect elders, and the more important reason was that he had angered Lai Yin. Yang Wanu was more clear than anyone else about the identity of this disciple. Even if the sect leader saw him, he would have to be polite because the power behind him was too terrifying. Yang Wana looked at Long Fei. There was nothing he could do. It was very dangerous for Long Fei to stay in Yuan-Yang clan. He might as well leave the mountain behind. Niu Dashan immediately said, "Boss, these people are bullying you." "A mere Yuan-Yang clan. If he doesn't join, then he won't. What's so amazing about that? Let's go." These people all wanted to see Long Fei become a joke. "None of you can leave without testing the blood vein," Wu Yingliang said coldly. Next, all of the disciples stepped forward as their fighting spirit soared. F***CK. So what if I fight? Your elder is not afraid of you. Niu Dashan's eyes opened wide. He retreated, and his chi burst out. Fight. He definitely wouldn't be able to beat her. After all, this was the Yuan-Yang clan. Just one of those elder of inner house was enough to make the two of them lie on the ground and not be able to move. Moreover, Long Fei's cultivation had been suppressed by the absolute heaven palm and seal, but the primal impulse in his body had always been as a wave of idea S continued to move towards him, allowing him to absorb the black stone's energy. After Niu Dashan dropped his King Bull's blood, this kind of idea became even more intense. The glow from the black stone became even more blinding. What was it? Huff. Long Fei took a deep breath. He couldn't say it in his heart, but he had to do this. And then Long Fei strode forward with a big stride. His heart secretly sank and said, "You've always been enticing me. Then let me see just what kind of power you're hiding." Ding, ding, ding. Yuan-Yang clan was established a few thousand years ago. In these millions of kilometers, the absolute hegemons. In this domain, the powerhouse comes from the Yuan-Yang clan. Those powerhouse had all tested the blood veins inherent skill before. There were holy vein S and also trash blood vein S. In these few thousand years, the amount of energy that the black stone absorbed was over 1 million. To an ordinary martial artist, this wasn't anything special. But to Long Fei, who owned a devourer's vein, the blood vein's power that was being absorbed by it was its best form of nourishment. It was simply like a steel mixture, growing bigger and thicker. The powerful idea in Long Fei's body was precisely the idea's idea. At this moment, the devouring vein was frantically absorbing and transforming at the same time. Everything in the world had power and could be absorbed. However, in the chaos realm, the purest power was the power of blood vein. Ding, 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 ding. The system beep in his mind continuously rang out, as if it had exploded. Long Fei could more and more feel the strong power within the blood vein. The blood-colored particles continued to split open, exploding within Long Fei's sea of consciousness, power converging into it and gathering wildly, bit by bit, becoming stronger and stronger. What is he doing? It's been a few minutes. What the hell is this slave doing? Lai Feng frowned and said, Senior brother, is this guy trying to stall for time? Or are you doing something? Lai Yin also followed up. Look at his body trembling. It looks like he had gotten himself killed. What the hell is he doing? Why don't I go take a look? Lai Yin said slightly, his cultivation has been restrained by the absolute heaven palm, so he can't pose any threat to you. Don't worry. Where's the big guy? Lai Yin said, Don't worry, you went up. If he dares to make a move, someone will deal with him. Lai Yin immediately laughed. Understood. While they were talking, Lai Yin then walked over and stared at Long Fei as he shouted heavily, Brat, what the hell are you doing? Now, condense your blood essence and test the blood veins talent. Nyo Dashin glared and shouted, Why don't you try calling him out again? Lai Yin said angrily, Dog slave, this is the Yuan-Yang clan, not a prison where you are imprisoned. Are you looking to die? The strength of the blood vein on Nyo Dashin's body moved. Let's see who is courting death. At this moment, without waiting for Nyo Dashin to make a move, a strong pressure came crushing down like thunder. Boom. A loud sound echoed out. Nyo Dashin's body bent from the pressure. Wu Yingliang sneered. You ignorant fool, kneel down right now. Zhang Xin frowned. The power of the pressure increased once again. What was Wu Yingliang's identity? He immediately crawled up from the ground with a face filled with excitement. Wu Yingliang's face changed. His body sank and sank as a powerful energy frantically absorbed the pressure in his sea of consciousness. He had truly absorbed the power of his cultivation realm. It was extremely uncomfortable. Wu Yingliang glared at him and bellowed, Trash, you dare to attack me. I will let you know my methods. With a flip of his right hand, he chopped downwards. Nyo Dashin moved, shouted out, and said, I'll do it. Its enormous body immediately blocked the attack. Demon Ox's blood vein power burst forth from his body, making him look like a huge raging bull. Rumble! Nyo Dashin continuously, explosively retreated, blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. Wu Yingliang also kicked a few times. His head seemed to be about to split open. His cultivation level was losing. His originally purple-ranked level 6 had turned into a purple-ranked level 5 in a few seconds, and his cultivation was still losing. He was completely unable to withstand the energy absorption. Ah! Ah! Wu Yingliang roared. Brat, give me your life. He rushed forward once again. Nyo Dashin's eyes opened wide, and once again blocked it. Rumble! Nyo Dashin retreated explosively once more, and Wu Yingliang's cultivation dropped to the 4th level of the purple rank, and then another level. Everything in the world could be absorbed. Level 20 Devourer's vein could even absorb realms and cultivation. This was the power of the Suck Star over China God. And this was the exclusive cultivation technique that the blood vein had. Buffed, Wu Yingliang stared deadly at Long Fei and said, "Kid, what exactly do you want?" Long Fei laughed sinisterly and said, "Don't want to do anything. Don't you like others to kneel down before you? Kneel on the ground now." Wu Yingliang stared at him and shouted, "Kid, are you even qualified to make me kneel?" Ah! He rushed forward again. Niu Dashan blocked it once again. Rumble! The two of them bounced away. Long Fei grinned. Purple level 3. Wu Yingliang was completely unable to control the loss of his cultivation level and wanted to grab onto it, but he was completely unable to resist the powerful suction. In just half a minute, he had lost 3 levels. To a martial artist, this was even worse than taking their life. Long Fei smiled. "Come again." Niu Dashan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, "Old thing, do it again. The pressure just now was overwhelming, and now it is suppressing again. Ha!" Wu Yingliang shouted, "Everyone forward! Kill these 2 slaves." Long Fei swept his gaze across them and laughed coldly. "Those who are not afraid of losing their cultivation levels, feel free to go. I will absorb all of your cultivation level to yellow rank level 1, and I will not be able to cultivate it back ever again. Come on. If you have the guts, come at me." Chapter 1182, Sect Master Takes Action. Chapter 1182, Sect Master Takes Action. The power of the 3rd level. The power of the purple realm. This 3rd level of strength was Wu Yingliang's strongest level of strength. The moment he smashed down, Long Fei flipped his hand and used his palm to cover it. Just like a basketball, Long Fei swung the lid right away. Rumble! Tons and tons of power exploded on Wu Yingliang's body. The expression on Wu Yingliang's face changed drastically as the power he released shattered, and his body sunk as well. He directly knelt on the ground and just happened to face Long Fei. "Kneel down." Crack! Crack! The kneecap ruptured, and fresh blood seeped out, causing Wu Yingliang to let out a blood-curdling scream. Long Fei stood in front of him. "How does it feel to kneel down?" "It must be very comfortable." The entire audience was shocked. Yang Wana's expression changed. The power, just now, it was not Long Fei's power at all, but he could completely control it. And after the power erupted, Wu Yingliang's cultivation did not recover in the slightest. His purple rank 6 cultivation had been absorbed into the 3rd level. In other words, he was still violet rank level 3. This slave in front of him could absorb a person's cultivation and explode out. What kind of cultivation technique was this? Yang Wana had never heard of it, nor had he seen it before. The only thing he could think of was this word, devil arts. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Elder of Inner House, kneeling in front of Long Fei, this is too unbelievable. It is like a dream. Only Niu Dashan and Yang Yu were incomparably excited. Long Fei looked at Wu Yingliang coldly and laughed. "Do you still need me to test my blood vein?" Scum! Wu Yingliang's legs were trembling. The pain was unbearable, but his eyes were burning with anger. He forced his knees down, endured the pain, and was about to stand up. At this moment, Long Fei opened his right hand, and with a move, the Xiao Luo machete directly grabbed onto Wu Yingliang's neck and laughed. "If you have the guts, then stand up and try it out." The cold was threatening. The entire audience went silent again. Wu Yingliang clenched his teeth, which made a cracking sound, and once again kneeled down, shouting, "Brat, you better not act recklessly. This is Yuan Yang clan. If you kill me, you'll definitely die." Long Fei smiled playfully. Are you still threatening me? Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes were filled with anger, his eyes brimming with killing intent. The Xiao Luo machete in his hand moved and roared, I hate people who threaten me the most. One slash. Suddenly, even more so, no one reacted. Yang Wanu was unable to react in time. Yang Yu was unable to react in time, and the surrounding elders and disciples were all stunned. Moreover, even Wu Yingliang himself couldn't react. It was too fast, too sudden. However, someone reacted. Stop. He used a devil technique to force Elder Wu to kneel down if you were to allow him to join the Yuan Yang clan like this. I'm afraid many people will not be convinced. His tone was still very calm. However, there was a strong pressure in this calmness. What he said was the truth. Killing people, injuring elders, and being lawless in the Yuan Yang clan. How could such a person be trusted by the people who joined the Yuan Yang clan? Rin Tianzhan frowned. As the sect master, he was actually bound by a disciple. If he didn't fear the power behind those flames, he would have instantly suppressed him. At this moment, Long Fei slightly smiled, stared at Lai Yen, and said, Do you still want me to test the blood vein, or do you want to watch me make a joke? Lai Yen laughed complacently. That's right. I just want to see you make a fool of yourself. I just won't let you join the Yuan Yang clan. No matter how powerful your identity is, it can't be concealed. Slaves. Long Fei looked at Lai Yen and said, Since you want to watch me become a joke that much, why not make a bet? Lai Yen asked, What do you want to bet? Long Fei said, The wager is up to you. Lai Yen said, All right, then let's bet on the loser kneeling down for the loser. How about that? Do you dare? Long Fei said, You said it yourself. Yang Yu stopped Long Fei and said, Don't bet with him. Boss, your blood vein. Don't bet with him. Yang Wanu gently shook his head as he looked at Long Fei. Lai Yen smiled proudly and said, What? You don't dare? Ha ha. Slaves are slaves. Long Fei got rid of Yang Yu's hand and walked in front of the black stone. He condensed a drop of blood essence and dropped it on top of the black stone. I slapped your left cheek just now, and this time I'm going to slap you on the right. Chapter 1183, Strong to Explosive Blood Vein. Chapter 1183, Strong to Explosive Blood Vein. The blood vein could not be changed. Long Fei had not merged with his blood vein. It had just been level 0, just now. In this match, Fiery Blaze had won for sure. Lai Yen sneered in his heart. Brat, prepare to kneel down and kowtow to me. Wu Yingliang also laughed complacently. Let's see how long you can continue acting for. The blood essence fell. Everyone looked at the black stone, and their blood essence was slowly absorbed by it. 2 seconds later, boom, boom. The black stone began to emit mysterious rumbles, like a thunderclap. Everyone was shocked. No one had ever seen something like this. But a heavy explosion resounded, and the black stone burst apart. A powerful beam of light shot out from the crack in the black stone, shooting straight into the sky. The instant before Long Fei lost his blood essence. The power seed within Long Fei's body that was used for the Great Perfection, Heavenly Tribulation's baptism, secretly extended for a while. The power of the strength seed was absorbed by the Devourer's vein to a small degree. With just this tiny bit, it caused a powerful chemical reaction, so strong that it moved the heavens and the earth. 10,000 miles of thunder rumbled, and the entire Yuan Yang clan was in a state of shock. The golden light was dazzling. It was incomparably powerful. This was the first time that this kind of blood vein inherent skill appeared within a radius of millions of kilometers in the Yuan Yang clan. This kind of blood vein inherent skill could not even withstand the strength of the testing black stone. How fierce was this? Everyone was extremely shocked. Was he even human? Was this really a slave? If they were slaves, then they weren't even qualified to become slave dregs. No wonder he was so arrogant. If I had such a heaven-defying gifted vein, I would be 100 times more arrogant than him, because those who died were not even qualified to carry his shoes. They had always thought that he was just putting on an act. To think that he really was awesome. This sort of shock could not be described with words. Worship. In 10 seconds, the strong light faded, leaving behind only the crackling remnants of the blood essence on the black stone. On the surface, Long Fei looked calm, but inside his blood was also boiling. Damn, how strong is Laozi? Let's not talk about the power of devouring veins that are exclusive to cultivation techniques. With such a strong power, even black stone S would explode from testing. What is the rank of devouring vein? Divine level. The divine level isn't worthy of describing it. Moreover, this was the strength of a level 20 blood vein. If it was level 100, my God, this is truly defying the heavens. Long Fei was extremely excited. It could be said that he was more excited than anyone else. At first, he thought that the most would be an 8 or 9 star gifted vein, or at least not as strong as them. How could he not be excited? Niu Dashan was grinning from ear to ear. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Boss, you are really awesome. Yang Yu's face was also filled with excitement. He grabbed his father's arm and asked while shaking him, Father, did you see? Did you see that? He's very strong, right? I told you he's very strong, right? He's too strong, hee. I was right. However, Yang Wanu's heart was very complicated because Long Fei was becoming more and more unfathomable to him, like a mystery getting more and more complicated. He could not see through Long Fei at all. Who is it? What is his purpose? Sect Master Ren Tianzhan was the same. He was also stunned. He could not understand the rank of Long Fei's blood vein. He could not understand why such a person could be a slave, or why he could not detect it just now. However, at this time, an idea popped up in Ren Tianzhan's mind. He was inexplicably excited about this idea. Such high-level blood vein S were simply a super magical equipment, an existence surpassing the divine level. If I gift him a spirit treasure in front of Hellgate, then Yuan Yang clan will be able to keep it this year. Ren Tianzhan relaxed his brows and smiled in his heart. Many people were excited and worshipped him. However, there was one person whose face was extremely unsightly, as if someone had ruthlessly slapped him in the face a few times. Fiery Blaze. Long Fei stared at him and laughed. How does it feel to be slapped in the face? It must be great. Lai Yin frowned and said, The one you are testing is not the blood vein. What kind of trick did you use? Yo, you won't admit defeat. Long Fei laughed coldly and said, The last time you used that pressure to crush Laozi in the forest, I told myself at that time I would definitely return it tenfold. Didn't you just ask me why I'm here? Long Fei looked at Ren Tianzhan as he spoke. Long Fei waved his right hand, and a strong suction force sucked the Xiao Luo machete off the wall as he said solemnly, My purpose in coming here is to kill him. The mountain-splitting knife on the wall hummed loudly. After that, it flew into Long Fei's hands with a whoosh sound. Long Fei moved his right hand. The mountain-splitting knife pointed at Lai Yin and said, This is my goal. Destroy my destiny pill. Injure my brother. Use your aura to crush Laozi. These accounts will be accounted for together today. Long Fei said word by word. Yang Yu's expression changed slightly as he asked, Destiny pill, what destiny pill? Anu. Tell me clearly, who is the destiny pill I consumed? Yang Yu suddenly stared at Anu, who was in the middle of the crowd. S expression also changed. Destiny pill was his daughter's continued life pill medicine. This kind of medicine could only be obtained with flames. Could it be that the brat in front of him also had a destiny pill? Anu's face secretly changed and said, "Miss, I was hiding this from you, also for your own good." That destiny pill was given by him. Yang Yu's heart sank. He stared at Lai Yen and said, "Lai Yen, you actually lied to me. You're too despicable." She had always thought that it was Lai Yen who saved her, so she was grateful. But now that he knew that it was Long Fei who had given him the destiny pill, Yang Yu's heart was hurt. Lai Yen sneered, "You are just a lowly slave, yet you don't even have the qualifications to challenge me. Do you understand?" "Oh," Long Fei laughed. "You don't have the qualifications to challenge me, right? Then I'll show you what qualifications are." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's footsteps sank. His gaze locked onto the blazing flames as he charged forward. Boom! A powerful force forced Long Fei away. Yang Wana blocked Long Fei and said faintly, "Long Fei, don't act recklessly." Ren Tianzhan also took a step forward and said, "You just erupted with a powerful gifted vein. Your potential is limitless. You are now a disciple of the Yuanyang clan. Everything has to be obeyed. You can't mess around." Two great powerhouses blocked Long Fei. Lai Yen became proud and said, "Did you see that little slave? I told you, you don't even have the qualifications to fight with me." He laughed maniacally. Long Fei raised his eyes slightly, looked at Ren Tianzhan, and said, "Did I say I want to join the Yuanyang clan?" Chapter 1184, Collisions of Powerful Identity. Chapter 1184, Collisions of Powerful Identity. "Did I say I want to join the Yuanyang clan?" As soon as he said that, the entire audience went silent. What did that mean? This meant that Long Fei had never thought of joining the Yuanyang clan, and it also meant that if anyone dared to stop him, then that person would be his enemy. And to the disciples of the Yuanyang clan, this sentence meant that Long Fei was going to become enemies with the entire Yuanyang clan. Extreme arrogance. Ren Tianzhan's eyes turned sinister as he stared at Long Fei. "Since you don't want to join Yuanyang clan, why are you participating in the assessment?" "Long Fei, don't say such angry words. There was something wrong with Lai Yen in the past. I'll make an apology on his behalf and forget about this matter. Don't continue messing around." Ren Tianzhan could not let Long Fei continue his nonsense. Lai Yan's identity was very special. Nothing could happen to him. And then again, Long Fei was important to him. He could give it to Hell Gate instead of that treasure, and that way the Yuanyang clan would be safe. Whether it was Long Fei or Lai Yan, Ren Tianzhan didn't want to see anything bad happen to them. Long Fei laughed. "I came to participate in the exam because I promised her. I can do it right now. As for becoming a disciple of the Yuanyang clan, I never even thought about it. And furthermore, after everything that has happened today, I don't want to join the Yuanyang clan at all." Lai Yan was startled and then laughed out loud. His laughter became even more proud as he said, "Sect Master Ren, you heard it. He is here to cause trouble. He treats the Yuanyang clan's disciple exam as a playground. He doesn't even put the Yuanyang clan in his eyes. You still want to accept someone like that?" Lai Yan started to fan the flames. With a face filled with mockery, he looked at Long Fei and thought in his heart, "Brat, you're finished." Ren Tianzhan also angrily said, "Impudent! The assessment is not child's play. Since you have passed the examination, you must be a disciple of the Yuanyang clan." Yang Yu also pulled Long Fei back and said, "Let's stay." Long Fei said, "It's easy for me to stay. Get out of my way. Let me kill him. It's that simple." He wanted to dry the fiery blaze, would be unhappy if she did not beat him up. So what if it was the Yuanyang clan lord? So what if the great elder blocked? There was no one who could stop what Long Fei wanted to do. Lai Yen frowned and sneered. Kid, it seems you still don't understand the current situation? You want to kill me? Ha ha. While they were talking, Lai Yen took out an order badge from his chest pocket and shouted, Yuanyang clan Lord Ren Tianzhan, listen up. Ren Tianzhan's face changed. The faces of Yang Wanu and the few elder of Inner House S turned pale, and the few elders immediately kneeled on the ground, shivering. He was a member of the Million Alliances sect, who would dare to disobey his orders. No one. The Myriad Alliance sect was the heavens. Yang Yu said, angrily, who the hell would want to marry you? Lai Yen laughed. Don't worry, you will promise me, unless you don't want your father's life, unless you don't want Yuan Yang clan's life. He had a complacent look on his face. Lai Yen said, I originally wanted to take things slowly, but all of you idiots insisted on forcing me. If that's the case, then I can only use my identity to crush you dregs. Ren Tianzhan, didn't you hear it? Attack. Bastard, what status do you have to dare fight me? Humph. Lai Yen stared at Long Fei and shouted, kill him. At the same time, Long Fei moved and linked to the main artifact dragon coffin. First stage, transform. The golden cudgel resumed its dragon coffin appearance. The main gun was on standby. Long Fei didn't hesitate as the idea moved and immediately locked onto the fierce flame. Ding! Target locked. Just when Ren Tianzhan was about to take action. Whoosh! 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 A few figures landed one after another. They were dressed in black, and there was a door embroidered on their backs. The door was dripping with blood. On the door, there were 2 words, hell. A sinister laugh rang out. Ha ha ha. A mere Yuanyang clan, and he actually has a member of the Myriad Alliance. However, the person who spoke turned his gaze, landed on Long Fei, and laughed. You're actually forced to such an extent. This isn't like you, my youth master of Hellgate. Chapter 1185, Target Lock. Chapter 1185, Target Lock, Youth Master of Hellgate. It was a bit sudden, for black robes covered his face, as if he was infected by leprosy and could not see anyone. The 4 of them stood in midair. His body was emitting a powerful aura which made it hard for people to breathe. Their black robes, the Hellgate robes, were even more terrifying, as though they were the arrival of the god of death. Very powerful, very powerful. The scene that appeared in Long Fei's mind was similar to the Shao group of fire ninjas. It was mysterious, yet extremely powerful. Why do you call him Junior Master? At this moment, everyone looked at Long Fei. For some reason, their eyes revealed fear, and their bodies backed off a few steps, not daring to get too close to Long Fei, as if they were afraid of being killed. Terrifying anomaly. What did he just say? Is that Long Fei a youth master of Hellgate? Oh my God! I said, he is abnormal. How can an ordinary person have such powerful strength? If it's the identity of the youth master of Hellgate, then it would make sense. He is youth master of Hellgate. Although he was afraid, he still couldn't help but start discussing. Yang Yu shook his head while looking at Long Fei. You are not youth master of Hellgate. You are definitely not. How could you be Hellgate's junior master? You are obviously a slave of the Water City. If you were a slave of the youth master of Hellgate, who would dare brand a slave imprint on your body? Who dares to do that to you? Yang Yu did not believe it. However, Yang Wana's heart trembled. Did Hellgate really make a move in advance? Ren Tianzhan felt a chill in his heart as he said, Hellgate of the Hellgate, Yuan Yang clan of this time. The most shocking thing was the fiery blaze. However, he laughed loudly. Long Fei, You are pretending to be mysterious. Do you think that you have found a few people disguised as Hell Gates people? Ha ha ha. I got full marks for your performance. Lai Yin sneered. At this moment, one of the black robe man raised his eyes slightly and only glanced at the distant fiery blaze. At this moment, Lai Yan's expression changed drastically, as if someone was choking him. His four limbs became stiff and his pupils bulged. He couldn't say a single word, and it was extremely uncomfortable. Long Fei's mind was working frantically. From the moment he came to the Chaos Realm, he had already gone through everything that had happened in his mind. Suddenly, Long Fei thought of killing the thing that the slave owner had dropped. Hell Gate token. Could it be that the identity of this body is really the youth master of Hell Gate? Hell Gate, Junior Master. Long Fei had only been in the Chaos Realm for less than 2 months, but he was very clear on the vastness of the Hell Gate. If his identity was that of a Junior Master, then how could he become a slave? Long Fei's gaze tensed up and said, I'm afraid all of you have recognized the wrong person. I'm not some Hell Gate. My name is Long Fei. Ha ha. A sinister voice sounded out. Junior Master, stop pretending with us. Do you think we will recognize the wrong person? Long Fei said, It's your business whether or not you recognize the wrong person, but my name is Long Fei. Junior Master, do you think that's interesting? Come with us. The voice from under the black robe rang out again. Long Fei said, What if I don't follow? Black Robe's cold voice came out. If you don't follow us, we will be very unhappy, and if we are unhappy, we will have to kill people, and this small Yuan Yang clan will not have a single survivor. Very arrogant. Moreover, he was saying this very seriously. It didn't seem like a joke at all. Long Fei could feel it. Rin Tianzhan could feel it too. As long as they make a move, the Yuan Yang clan will be bleeding profusely. Niu Dashan said naively. You guys must be mistaken. My boss is not some Hell Gate. Do you have the right to speak here? As soon as his voice faded, a wave of energy came crashing down, and before Niu Dashan could even react, he was instantly crushed to the ground, unable to move. It was extremely uncomfortable. The strength of this pressure was more than 10,000 times that of Wu Yingliang's. As long as he had even the slightest bit of strength, he would be able to kill Niu Dashan. Anger rose between Long Fei's eyebrows. Lai Yin recovered a little and laughed complacently. Brat, it seems like your Hell Gate's Junior Master isn't that good either. Ha ha ha. He was still afraid that the Hell Gate people would attack. Now, it seemed that the people of Hell Gate were here for Long Fei, so he did not need to worry. Come with me. Junior Master, you have no choice. He stared at Long Fei as if he was staring at a fish on the chopping block. Yang Yu blocked Long Fei's path in front of him and said, You guys must have made a mistake. He isn't some Hell Gate of the Hell Gate. Buzz. With a loud noise, Yang Yu was also forced to lie flat on the ground by a burst of oppressive power. Above her head floated a scythe of death. As long as they were just Idea S, this sickle would take Yang Yu's life. Everything had been completely crushed by the four of them. No one in Yuan Yang clan dared to move. The deterrence of the Hell Gate was just too strong, an existence strong enough to make them tremble. The leading black robe man's voice sounded again. You still don't want to admit it? The power in your body has been awakened, so the memory seal in your body should have been broken through as well, right? Junior Master, it's really good that you came with us. Don't make us take action. Otherwise, the man's voice suddenly turned cold. We're really not going to stand on ceremony here. What happened in Hell Gate? The Junior Master was treated in such a way. Long Fei didn't know. Long Fei only knew one thing. Whoever touched his brother would die. In that instant, Long Fei's expression slightly darkened and said, I can follow you, but first let go of those two. Sure. Once the idea was retracted, the pressure on Niu Dashin and Yang Yu was lifted, and the two of them quickly climbed back up. Long Fei immediately said, "All of you retreat quickly." Niu Dashin did not move, and said, "Boss, fight with them." Yang Yu said, "Long Fei, you must explain it to them clearly. You are not some junior master." Long Fei shouted, "I told you to retreat. Everyone retreat. Do you understand?" Rim Tianzhan immediately said, "Everyone retreat quickly." Yang Wanu also pulled Yang Yu back and said, "Hurry, retreat." Niu Dashin did not move and said, "Boss, this life of mine was given by you. If I were to live it together, I would die first if I were to die." Ha ha ha. Black Robe Man laughed coldly, looked at Long Fei, and said, "Can you come with us now?" Long Fei fixed his gaze and said, "You are their leader?" Black Robe Man was startled and said, "That's right." "Oh, then I know what to do." Long Fei said softly. The idea connecting with the main artifact suddenly moved. "The main gun has locked onto us again." A scope appeared in his mind. Ding. Target locked. Chapter 1186, Chaos Realms First Cannon. Chapter 1186, Chaos Realms First Cannon. Huff. The moment the system beeped, Long Fei's heart slightly loosened and said, "I'm very sorry, but I really am not the junior master you are looking for, and I won't follow you, but you touch my brother. Then you must die." Ha ha ha. Black Robe Man laughed wildly and said, "Junior Master, it seems like you have really forgotten about my methods. I need to let you experience it again today." As soon as he finished, black robes covered the sky. Long Fei moved his idea and placed it on his shoulder. "Whoa. I will also show you my power. Target locked. Blast him to death. Rumble." The main gun's power moved, and a super cannonball shot out. In that moment, Long Fei's idea moved and ordered the dragon coffin's evolution, second stage. Shwa! The thick and heavy dragon coffin turned into the second stage of evolution, turning into a golden cudgel. And at this moment, rumble! A loud explosion sounded for a long time. The black robe shattered into fine powder. That old man in black robe, he did not have the power to resist back at all. His strength had not even landed on the ground when he was smashed into pieces by Long Fei and disappeared with a single shot. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Underworld Devil for obtaining 40,000 experience points, 40,000 holy source, and 10 energy values. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Profound Grade 2. Instant kill. Not to mention the Powerhouse S. Even the Powerhouse S would be smashed into smithereens. Long Fei had experienced his power before. One cannon shot through all worlds, straight to the Yellow Dragon, to the end. But the only displeasing thing was that once the main gun was activated, not even a single strand of hair of its body would be exposed. All of them would be turned into fine powder, and even the activation of the striking attribute would be of no use. This was what made Long Fei the most depressed. Being too strong was also a problem. The golden cudgel in Long Fei's hands swept around and pointed at the three people in the air who did not seem to have recovered from the shock, and laughed extremely arrogantly. "Who's the one that is arrogant with this daddy again?" Huh. Swish. Is the Hell Gate that amazing? One shot, one kill. What kind of power was this? Power that he could not understand at all. Ren Tianzhan was shocked. Yang Wana was shocked. The entire Yuan Yang clan was shocked. But at the same time, they were even more afraid. Because Long Fei had killed the people from Hell Gate. This was simply courting death. Who would dare to touch the people of the Hell Gate, Even the powerful and rising Million Alliance sect would not dare to rashly touch the Hell Gate. Furthermore, these 4 people's levels were not low in Hell Gate and were killed just like that. One must know that his daughter has gotten a strange disease, and only Destiny Pill can keep her life, so the Yuan Yang clan has expended a lot of resources. Great clan elder, you can't just ignore the entire Yuan Yang clan and only think of your daughter. Grand elder, you have to be careful on this matter. Ren Tianzhan couldn't make a decision for a moment and said in the end, we won't drive him away and we won't force him to stay and we won't admit that he is a disciple of the Yuan Yang clan in front of outsiders. And we won't deny that he is a disciple of the Yuan Yang clan in front of him. We have to discuss this slowly. Also, the half-a-year agreement that Hell Gate had given us is about to arrive. This time, they are not here for Long Fei. They are here for our entire Yuan Yang clan. We need to discuss about the countermeasures. As soon as Ren Tianzhan finished his sentence, the hall was once again in an uproar. After discussing for a while, all of the discussions ended with the blame being on Xiang Longfei. Isn't he Hell Gate of the Hell Gate? Wouldn't it be fine if he comes forward? Exactly. Weren't you going to chase him away just now? Now you want him to come out. The key is that he doesn't even recognize himself as the junior master of the Hell Gate. Even if he has unparalleled power, if he doesn't use it, what difference does it make? The debate in the hall lasted until late at night. In another place, in Yang Yu's exquisite little courtyard, Yang Yu dragged his cheeks with both hands and looked at Long Fei without even blinking, saying, "Are you really youth master of Hell Gate?" "No, I am me. My name is Long Fei." Long Fei laughed. He doesn't recognize what kind of junior master he is, but he knew clearly in his heart that the identity of this body could very possibly be the youth master of Hell Gate. Hell Gate. Long Fei secretly tensed up. Yang Yu giggled and said, "No matter who you are still that fearless little slave I know, hee hee." At this time, Niu Dashin scratched his head as he walked out and said, "Boss, what exactly is this blood vein? The more I cultivate, the more I felt my body transforming. Look at my head. Somehow it has grown into 2 bags, and it's even very hard. The bottom part is like 2 horns." Niu Dashin continued to cultivate. He was excited by the strong blood veins power in his body and never stopped. However, the more he trained, the more he could feel that the blood veins power was extremely rich, as though it could not be exhausted. At the same time, his body had also changed. He felt more and more like an ox, especially since there were 2 big bags growing on top of his head. Long Fei took a glance and was secretly shocked. "The blood vein I gave you is a type of King Bull's blood from the ancient times. When you cultivate to the limit, you can go to the heavens and go down to the earth. It is extremely powerful." Niu Dashin shook, his blood boiling from listening, and said, "So that's how it is. Ancient blood vein. Then I must double my cultivation." "Right. Boss, do you think I'll turn into an ox?" Long Fei was stunned. It's not impossible." Niu Dashin was also stunned for a moment. Then he smiled and muttered, "I am called Niu. I am an ox. I want to be the strongest cow in the world. It will be easy to plow the land in the future. Hee hee." He smiled foolishly, after which he walked to his room and began cultivating. He looked at the sky. Long Fei was also tired and said, "I'm going back to rest." Yang Yu was a little reluctant as he asked, "Will you leave this place?" Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "Not at the moment." Yang Yu immediately smiled like a flower and said, "Then that's good." He still had 2 tasks that he had not completed. The first was to treat Yang Yu's illness. This was an S-level mission, putting aside the rewards. Even if there were no rewards, Long Fei would do his best to help Yang Yu. It was the seal space ring that Zhu Tianquan had given to him. You must have the sect master's mark in order to open it. Regarding this ring, Long Fei didn't really want to hand it over to Ren Tianzhan because his gut instinct told him, this thing is awesome. Awesome, very powerful. Chapter 1188, Desperate 8 King Kong. Chapter 1188, Desperate 8 King Kong was not in the mood to care about what the Yuan Yang clan was discussing. He still said the same thing. He did not plan to become the Yuan Yang clan's disciple. The reason he did not leave was for 2 missions. Early morning, Long Fei then walked to Yang Wanna's room. Half an hour later, Long Fei took Yang Wanna's order badge and went to the Yuan Yang clan's library. All of the disciples they met on the way were pointing their fingers at him. Some admired him, while others were afraid. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training alchemy technique. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training refining techniques. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training in formation techniques. When Long Fei finished flipping through the alchemy technique, a system announcement rang out. This meant that he had successfully cultivated it. Although he had basically cultivated all of these supporting skills to the great perfection stage in God's martial continent, he was still at the level of a God's martial continent. The rank of the Chaos Realm was higher than the God's martial continents, so his previous alchemy could not keep up at all. It was just like when technology was advanced, the old antiques would naturally be eliminated. And then again, this was a new body. Naturally, he had to train it anew. Long Fei cultivated all the supporting skills he could, and then flipped through a few cultivation technique skills. The difference was he couldn't train any of them either. Long Fei thought, perhaps this is the system's weakness. It can only cultivate the skills that are released and the skills that are rewarded by the system, but it doesn't matter. These cultivation techniques are all trash. Following that, Long Fei entered another floor of the book collection vault. There were all kinds of medicine manuals, secret histories, as well as records of all sorts of bizarre events. The beginning of chaos, the heavens as the mother, the earth as the common, spawning all sorts of spells. The first power has become the strongest power in the Chaos Realm. What supreme power? What derived myriad techniques? Long Fei took out a book and started flipping through it. Yuan Yang mountain range. It is said that tens of thousands of years ago, a world beast tore apart the heaven and earth and was killed and fell by countless of methods in the primal chaos, and its enormous body slowly transformed into the current Yuan Yang mountain range. F***CK. Can you be any more clever? Could it be that there are still hundreds of thousands of demon beasts in this world, and millions of kilometers large? It's not like I haven't seen swallowing world beasts before. Is the largest demon beast as big as a bemin? As he spoke about the bemin, Long Fei's eyes turned cold, and he thought to himself, where are you right now? Were you bullied? The Yen Huang ancestor had told him before that once a bemin chose a plane, it would be unable to leave. He had to be in a corner in the Chaos Realm, because regarding this bemin, Long Fei also missed it dearly. The other was the 8 King Kong. Yun'er's prophet Bloodvein had seen the future, saw her father and 7 other people being reborn. However, where is it now? Long Fei secretly thought, Yuan Ba, where are you guys? Achoo! Chaos Realm, a certain mountain region. A sneeze echoed in the sky. The heavenly spirit said fiercely, Yuan Ba, can't you endure this for a while? Li Yuanba scratched his head and said naively, it's too itchy, I couldn't hold it in. I felt like boss was talking about me just now. He must have been thinking about me. That's why I sneezed. F***CK. Can you change the phrase? Don't say that boss misses you when you sneeze. Arhut muttered. Li Yuanba said with a serious face, "It's true this time." Lin Yusheng made a gesture of silence and said, "Stop being so noisy. Stop being so noisy." At this moment, the black knife, Chun Tianfei's gaze was fixated on the few passers-by. The eyes of the 8 of them flashed. Suddenly, Li Yuanba waved the giant spirit axe in his hands and jumped down heavily, landing in the middle of the road. The visual impact was strong enough to explode. The giant spirit axe in his hand swept across and shouted, "I am the one who planted this tree. I will be the one to open this road. If you pass by here, leave behind the money to buy the road." "Take the money." The pedestrians were so scared that their faces turned pale, and they immediately kneeled on the ground. "Great sir, we are all poor people. How could we have any money? Please do us a favor and let us go. I'm begging you." Tears streamed down his face. At this moment, Arhut frowned. "This is bad." Li Yuanba touched his bosom and took out a few taels of silver, saying, "Quickly get up, take these silver, and leave." Sigh. Poor people are suffering. Those pedestrians were dumbfounded. Was this guy a fucking bandit? Was this a F*King robbery? He took the silver and quickly ran away. Li Yuanba. "Big guy, can you not be like this? We are bandits. We are robbing. What are you making us eat like this?" "I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to starve to death. There's no way to do this business anymore." The other 7 people started to complain. These people were not ordinary people, but warriors. If not for the wind blowing under their feet and being unsure if there were any more people around, they would have attacked Li Yuanba. The 7 of them jumped down and stared at Li Yuanba. Li Yuanba scratched his head and said naively, "The poor are so pitiful. We should help them." "Help them? Then let me ask you, how long have we not opened?" "I will come back. I will come back." 7-star herba, a legendary spirit grass. Psychic blood, a legendary spirit grass. These spirit grass can only be found by chance. They are all priceless spirit grass. Even in the entire Yuanyang clan, there is not a single one. Long Fei frowned. He opened the exchange system to take a look. Not even one. Long Fei had wanted to find a way to cure Yang Yu's illness first, then use his points to exchange for it. But now, in the trading system, there was not even one spirit grass that Long Fei wanted. Without spirit grass, it would be impossible to refine spirit medicine to treat Yang Yu's illness. Then he wouldn't be able to complete the mission. No way. Not being able to cultivate in this world is no different from being sentenced to death. I will definitely think of a way to help her. Long Fei made up his mind, and then began to search for the origin of these spirit grass and their attributes. He's been in the Compendium Pavilion for the past 3 days, Ren Tianzhan asked. A disciple replied. Yes, he used the Great Elder's token, and we didn't dare to stop him. We were in the library for 3 days and 3 nights. Sovereign, should we chase him out? Ren Tianzhan asked. What is he looking for in the Compendium Pavilion? Are you cultivating a high-level cultivation technique? There were more than 10,000 Yuanyang clan's cultivation technique hidden in the library. There were 1-grade cultivation technique and 9-grade cultivation techniques, the kind of place that any disciple would yearn to enter. Not coming out for 3 days and 3 nights? Was he really going to cultivate all the high-leveled cultivation techniques of the Yuanyang clan? The disciple replied, he is not cultivating a technique, but reading through some secret history, superpower incidents, or even some medicine books. From time to time, he would laugh. Like a madman. I've checked all the books he read. Most of them were fabricated, and none of them are worth considering. He's reading our library like a novel. There was a hint of anger in Disciple's words. He felt that Long Fei was insulting Yuan Yang clan's library. Ren Tianzhan stroked his beard, his brows locked even tighter. Just by reading these books? Long Fei, what exactly are you looking for? Continue observing. The disciple immediately nodded. Yes, sir. Ren Tianzhan was also thinking about what Long Fei was doing. He also didn't understand what Long Fei wanted to do. Yang Yu searched everywhere for Long Fei, and even after 3 days and 3 nights, he still could not find her. Where did your boss go? Will you tell me? Niu Dashan said with a bitter face. First, miss, I really didn't know. When Yang Yu saw his father, he ran up to him and asked, Father. Without waiting for her to get close, Yang Wanu slipped away like a wisp of smoke. The blood veins power within Niu Dashan's body moved, and his body exploded forth with the aura of Demon Ox King as he roared out in a deep voice, Demon Beast, Grandpa is coming. Boom. Rumble. Big Mountain, be careful. Crack. Ding. They continuously advanced and encountered all kinds of demon beast. The lowest level demon beast here were the 3 star monster, and each one of them were very savage. It is worth noting, the demon beast here had a common characteristic. These names were all red. This meant that they would all take the initiative to attack. This was very special, just like those red-named monsters in the game. Once they got a bit closer to the attack range of these monsters, they would attack them with all their strength. What made them take the initiative to attack? At this moment, Niu Dashan saw a stone tablet hidden within the weeds and said, Boss, there is a stone tablet here. A forbidden area for living people. Death Valley. Long Fei looked at the words on the monument, then looked at his surroundings. Inside, it was dark. Niu Dashan said, Death Valley? It's forbidden to live. Who the hell are you trying to cheat? While they were talking, Niu Dashan picked up the stone tablet and threw it into the depths of the valley. Your master is here. Why is it a taboo for living people? Very domineering, very arrogant. Rumble. With a loud noise, a huge aura was emitted from inside the cave. It was as if a huge creature had been awakened from its stupor. Niu Dashan immediately became weak and muttered, Boss, are we going to go in? I really admire you. Long Fei rolled her eyes at him and said, I forced you to act. How can you not enter now? Enter the valley. Chapter 1191, Monkey, Borrow Some Strength. Chapter 1191, Monkey, Borrow Some Strength upon stepping into the valley. What Long Fei found strange was that there wasn't even a single demon beast in the surrounding area, and he couldn't even sense the powerful aura earlier. The valley was a mess, overgrown with weeds. There were collapsed houses and piles of gravel dug up in the valley. Long Fei felt that he had entered a mine. Niu Dashan grinned. Boss, why is there nothing? Long Fei looked at a deep mine and faintly said, It's not that there's nothing. It's that everything is inside. Mine. The cave was dark, as if a monster was waiting for them with its mouth wide open. Long Fei took a look at the mine and said, Enter the cave. Niu Dashan followed closely behind. Walala. The moment the two entered the cave, a cold wind blew out from the depths of the cave. This wind carried a foul stench, as if it had been lingering in the cave for several months. There's wind, so there should be other entrances or exits, and they're all the same. Long Fei said in a low voice, Mountain, go ahead and mark your path. Niu Dashan replied, Understood. The torches began to move deeper into the mine. There was only one way in the cave that Long Fei and the rest were in, and they had walked for an entire 2 hours. Suddenly, the sky was filled with starlight. Niu Dashan was startled and said, Boss, is it night time? Long Fei was also shocked. Fuck, there are so many diamonds. If this were in his previous life, he would definitely be rich. These diamonds were like stars embedded in the sky, sparkling and reflecting light. Just as Long Fei was observing these, Kacha, the ground suddenly split open, and a rotten hand suddenly grabbed Niu Dashin's leg. Plop! Niu Dashin fell to the ground, muttering, "What tripped me?" He lit it with a torch. One of them had a face full of maggots, and its two dark green eyes were staring straight at him. Its entire body was in tatters, its flesh was rotten, and the worms on it were rolling around. It was as disgusting as one could imagine. "Zombie!" Niu Dashin's face changed, and he almost peed his pants because of the zombie. He shouted, "Boss, there are zombies. Stop arguing." Long Fei wanted to remind her, but it was already too late. The empty ground opened up one hole after another. Zombies crawled out from the ground one after another. In just half a minute, there were dozens of zombies. These zombies were the same as the demon beast outside. They were all red in color. Long Fei yelled, "Mountain, you be careful!" Buzz! The mountain-splitting Neef withdrew, and the golden cudgel landed on his palm. He yelled, "A zombie? I'll just see how much you have. Begin." The golden cudgel smashed onto a zombie, causing its head to split open and its body to retreat several times. However, it was not instantly killed, and its HP was also only missing by a small amount. What a strong defense!